What's good, Detroit Sports Nation? I am Eric Vincent, your host here at the DSN News Desk. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time and support. And we got some news that we got to get into about the Detroit Pistons. According to Hoops Hype, Bojan Bogdanovic, the newly acquired forward from the Detroit Pistons this season, had a sit down and a conversation with Troy Weaver, where a lot of plans and conversations were had about basically the future and the outlook for next season. Now, a lot of what was discussed between Bojan and Hoops Hype was a lot of the thoughts and the feelings that we had as Piston fans as well. So just to kind of go briefly over what he said, having conversation with the club, Troy and the owners assured me that we're going to be great next year. We have a lot of cap space to sign great players. We're going to have a high pick again, so that's going to help us a lot. We have a write-up on our website at DetroitSportsNation.com. Please check it out on our website right now if you get a chance. And this kind of feels eerily similar to last season because we had a similar issue with Jeremy Grant, where a lot of Piston fans wanted to see Jeremy Grant dealt before we had to get into the murky waters of paying him that big contract, seeing if he was going to fit in with the team long term, the way he was playing in an ISO style environment. Like, it was a lot of questions of whether Jeremy Grant was going to be a long-term fit for this team. And Bojan, to me, while I think he's a better fit, there's more questions with him as well, similar to what we talked about with Jeremy Grant. Is Bojan a plan of the future? And even with Troy Weaver telling him that we're going to be great next season, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a part of it. Bojan's 33 years old. He just signed a 3-year extension with the Pistons this season, but it's still a fairly tradable contract at the moment. So again, it's not necessarily like the Pistons gave him a just ridiculous boatload, like $170 million for 3-4 years or something crazy like that. That didn't happen. They gave him a very tradable contract, especially considering the fact that he doesn't really fit the team's timeline right now. Now, fortunately, I would say, fortunately for Bojan, he is providing a lot of things that this team needs. He's a very good scorer, averaging just over 21 a game, shooting 48% from the field, 41 from 3, which is something huge that this team needs to stress in the offseason. He's easily their best shooter, and for now, he's their best scorer because Cade Cunningham's not on the court. And unfortunately, and even as spoken to in the quote, we didn't really get to see Bojan and Cade really develop the right chemistry that they needed down the line to even see if Bojan is a suitable piece. Having Cade hurt really hurts and kind of confuses the Pistons' direction because he's the centerpiece of that team. Not having Cade on the floor kind of handcuffs the Pistons' ability to an extent, I think, of jumping out on deals as quick as fans are expecting him to. Like, we're expecting him to roll and just get the deals moving. And, we got a Burks contract that's tradable and a Bojan contract that's tradable and Nerlens Noel's in the rumors. I feel like because of all that, even with, the guys from the 2020 class being in conversation like Saddiq Bey, like, it's not easy to pull the trigger on those guys when Cade Cunningham is not on the floor. I think to an extent, that's why the Pistons were so easily able to trade Jeremy Grant in the offseason, because we saw the Pistons play so well without Jeremy Grant even on the floor with this team. They were flourishing without him. The young players were getting in spots better without him. And not even just Cade. Like, Cade obviously stepped in as the focal point, but Saddiq Bey got more comfortable with his shot, looking like the number 2 scorer for this team that we thought he could be. Like, we just saw a lot of different guys flourishing with opportunity for them to grow while Jeremy Grant was hurt on the sideline or just not playing. Now, for the Bojan, it's a little different. Again, he's giving areas of this team that they need in terms of shooting, but he's not a great defender. He's a little bit older, and he doesn't really play, which is weird because Grant in Utah, he was a catch and shoot guy. He wasn't as ISO heavy as he is now, but playing on the Pistons, kind of like Jeremy Grant, it opens up the opportunity for him as the older veteran and as their best scorer to take a few more risks with his shot than we're normally accustomed to seeing. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now with Bojan. For me, I think we just got to be patient. Piston fans just got to relax and breathe and just trust in Troy Weaver. Because at this rate, we don't really know what's going to happen. There's a lot of teams that are interested in the pieces that are set on the Pistons right now, but considering where they're at, it's not a guarantee that they get these deals done. Like, they've put some pretty high prices on Alec Burks, on Bojan Bogdanovic, where apparently they said they want unprotected first picks, and I believe an additional player as well included if they were to get rid of guys like Bojan or Alec Burks. Even with Troy Weaver sitting here and telling Bojan, we're going to be good next year, we have a plan, we already knew that anyway. Troy's talked about how he wants 2023, which is this year, but next season, to be that starting point where they really are in a position to compete. Like, he talked about it early this year, but considering how young and youthful this team was with the Pistons, it wasn't likely that they were going to sneak in a play-in position. It wasn't going to happen. Like, we weren't going to see that based on how youthful and inexperienced they were. They were talented. They would maybe flirt and threaten around the 9 or 10 spot, but it wasn't going to happen. Now, obviously, you would expect it to be as bad as they are now, but sitting where they are and now not having Cade Cunningham on the floor, they kind of got to alter a few different things with what they're doing. It's not a guarantee that Bojan gets traded. It's not a guarantee that Alec Burks gets traded. We don't really know at this moment what Troy Weaver has planned, but we need to trust whatever direction he goes in. He's shown the ability to be able to put the right pieces around Cade Cunningham, to have suitable players, to get them on affordable contracts that are suitable for the direction of this team. I'm not worried about that at all. I think he's going to hit in the draft. I think he's going to be aggressive in free agency, and hopefully we'll see a trade that makes sense for the direction of this franchise. For me at this point, and I really haven't said it much, I think the first immediate change that we need to see maybe with this team is possibly a new head coach. I think that's where it's come to at this point. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't pull the trigger on any of these deals, but they can't come in with the exact same team that they had. I think Dwayne Casey's got to be running out of leeway at this point. We talked about it extensively. If defense is Dwayne Casey's calling card, he has vastly just improved from what we've been expecting. They have not taken any steps in terms of being a better defensive team, even with better pieces around them. I mean, obviously not having Cade doesn't help, but I mean, Cade's not a lockdown defender on his own, and he's not a cleanup guy that can make defensive assignments easier for everybody else around him. He's not like a Jalen Duren or a rim protector like that who can help erase the mistakes of perimeter defending. That's the Pistons' biggest issue, perimeter defending. So considering that, they have a lot of different questions that they got to answer and how they're going to get this thing back under control. And trading Bojan Bogdanovic may not be a part of that deal. It may not be a part of it. We don't know, but we have to have trust in Troy Weaver that he knows what he's doing. He's built trust with this franchise. He's built trust with this fan base. We got to see some wins attached to it soon. It's got to come sooner than later because Lord knows this tank has been going for too long. Talk to me in the comments section, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the story about Bojan Bogdanovic. What did you think about his quotes? Do you think he should be traded? Who do you think should be traded? And if so, give me the trade ideas in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. This is my favorite kind of conversation to have, the NBA trade machine deals. Talk to me. I'd love to hear your thoughts in there. Make sure you like the video as well. And subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Help us run the subscriptions up to 6,000 as we're trying to hit our next milestone. Help us make that happen with your love and support. We would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you're locking in and tapping into our social media as well on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above. Search and follow Detroit Sports Nation and lock in with me as well at I am Eric Vincent. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate your support. I'll see you again soon right here with another update right here from the DSN News Desk. Peace.